Hi, it's Sam from the Footprint Connection here. Today I'm going to talk to you about values. What do they mean and why are they so important? Okay, let's dig straight in. A few years ago I was listening to a talk of a master of NLP in neuroscience, and she made this amazing example which kind of always stuck in my mind and I love telling people about because I think it really illustrates so well what values are and why they affect us so much when we live by them or anyway, in life, business, everywhere. They pop up everywhere. They're the foundation of meaning that we're having either fulfilled life or we don't. Okay, let's bring out this example. All right, so there was a couple once. He was working full-time in a full-time well-paid position, and she was mainly with the kids and having quite, having all the stuff sorted at home, and they were going quite well. One day his boss asked him to come into the office and he made him an offer. He said, you've got this opportunity coming up now. You can either go with it and go overseas for a year or two with your family, take them traveling, take them all over. You'll be receiving double the pay. However, the downside is that on your return, you might not have a job anymore. Would you want to take this opportunity on? And he was like, wow, what a great opportunity. Sure, no worries, let's do it, And he was ready to go. So when he came home, he was like all excited and told his wife, and she was like, you did a what? Like, seriously? What about the mortgage, the kids, the schools, the house, whatever? Like, how could you just do that? And so obviously they had this big fight and misunderstandings or, different perceptions, and it caused a lot of friction for them. And the only reason why this all came to play like that was because of their values and the differences in their values. So he probably had values like travel, freedom, expansion, adventure, and so on. And she, most likely being the mum, and it's often the case when you're being a mum because you kind of, you get into that role of being the supporter, the making sure everyone's fine. So her values were probably like stability, family, making sure everyone's, sorted, security, all those sort of things. So for her and for him, their values were clashing, and of course they had a totally different response. So with this example, you can see that values are a super key importance to know for yourself and for your relationships that you're in, but also in your business and in your work life. Especially if you're an entrepreneur, it is super important to know what your values are, because then you can live by them and you can find examples and mentors that are matching to with those values. So if you want to read more about values, there's an amazing guy called Dr. DeMartini, and he's put out the value test, and so you can figure out your own values and also find out if you don't live by them. You'll notice that you get lots of patterns slipping in. So this brings me to that next point, is why are they so important? So not only with our example, you could see they're so important for, your relationships and knowing where you're at and what's important for whom, and, figuring out what good middle grounds are and ways that make sure that you can both live your values and your needs in your relationship. But it's also important for yourself in the way you live your own life, because when you know your values and you live by them, what happens is you feel on track, you feel empowered, you feel sparkly and amazing and just thriving. However, if you don't live by them, and that might be, you might have 3 massive values and you live by 2, that feels pretty good. But what you'll notice is that the one that you're ignoring or suppressing or not really paying attention to, that one will creep silently into your life. And what it will do is it will make you self-sabotage. And that topic, I always talk about self-sabotage and resistance. However, this is such a key for it, because when you don't live your values, or one of those values that are a key important value for you, what will happen is you might end up drinking alcohol more than you want. You might be watching TV all the time. You might be finding yourself in the cupboard even when you don't want to eat. You might find yourself eating more chocolate than what you need, and so on. So what it creates is the sense of unfulfillment, and then that lets those self-sabotage patterns creep into your life, where you then start feeling out of control. And so the biggest key takeaway, and I hope that's really what you're getting out of this little video message here, is please get really clear on your values so you can live by them, so you can feel on track and empowered and aligned in your own life, so that you can have amazing relationships and get really clear on your perspectives so you know each other's needs and wishes and values. And for your business life and entrepreneurial life, it's super important so that you can make sure you keep on moving forward and don't sabotage yourself with this unfulfilling kind of murky feeling. So please go now and make sure you write your values down. That will be a great step from here. The other part that I would like to mention here as well about values is that when we have values, we always look for people that match those values. If they match them, we either put them on our same level, and if they're a mentor or someone that we look up to, we might put them on a pedestal. And what happens when we put people on a pedestal is that we put ourselves into the dip, or the people that don't match the values. So what that means is that you're going to create a rift, a difference between those people that you're looking up to and yourself, meaning you're not as good. And what that creates is, of course, contraction, not feeling good enough, self-sabotage, self-worth issues, and so on. So what happens is you're telling yourself that you can't be like that. And that is not true. So please be really aware that if you're putting those values and if you're matching values with other people, and this is often a subconscious thing, but please be aware of it, that when you're meeting people and you think they're aligning to your values, that you're not automatically putting yourself down or up. We're really all equal, and we all have amazing things we can share. We all have amazing things we can share. And it's so important that we shine our light and that we're not holding back and that we can all be amazing and up here, you know? So let this be the takeaway for today. Get clear on your values. Make sure you live them in your relationships. Make sure you live them in your own life and when you're interacting with other people. And make sure you get clear on them so that you can be free of self-sabotage. You can be full of fulfillment and empowerment and happy, awesome, high vibes in your own life and in your business. So I can't wait to hear from you what you're taking away from this training and how you're moving on with it. Comment below and I'd love to hear from you, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye for now.